Thank you very much, Nat. Interesting, wise words from the man, the myth, the legend, Blitz himself, and confident in his team members and getting game number 1 under his belt. It's an elimination series, both teams on the brink trying to take this one home, and let's take a look as it might be first blood here for the side of Talon. They'll run in, they'll find themselves the bounty hunter, and it's that Pugna that gets first blood.
Oh, good start for Talon. I mean, we've seen what Kuku can do once he gets that first blood. My man, he's playing the speediest hero in the game, and if he picks up another Windlaze, he's going to be very difficult to catch. But also to point out, the way the Team Liquid drafted is something that we did mention. Lina, she doesn't like to get tossed. That's why they're playing this Tiny as a core. That's why they have Clockwork and the Primal Beast. So if you can run at Lina and keep killing her, that's going to be great in theory. But we've also seen other teams also failing to do so, considering that he is 3 out of 3 games on Lina right now, and Kuku
looking for revenge, and Insania with a chase with a battery assault. Kuku on the run, eventually that'll end, and like you said, he's the speediest guy, and he'll be able to run away from that Clockwork. Makoto over mid, he has taken down some big dogs over in this mid lane, and it's not just a little bit more CS that he gets, a little bit more net worth. He's beating guys about 3-1, 4-1 on the CS when he's playing this Lina.
If he's playing a favorable matchup, that's why I think that Team Liquid is going to be playing quite around him in the mid lane. And there's going to be a lot of rotations from position 4 and 5 coming out to where they want to pressure Makoto. One stun from Tiny is going to be enough of a setup, removing some of the sentries as well, so that Bounty Hunter has pretty much a free entry with the backstab potential. And the off-lane duo, Jocam and WS. WS also undefeated on his Terrorblade. He did play it 2 times. This guy is onto something. It's been a very popular pick in the Shadowfiend and Luna meta. Nowadays, not as much, but he still feels that he can do it. And one thing I really like about this is they have multiple saves. You have Pugna, let's say he gets Sunder plus Pipe on his Alchemist, Snowball save. So there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on Natsumi having a great of a game. And every single time this guy's having a blast in the laning stage, they also tend to win the game. But if he's the one getting pressured, then Talon tends to lose the games.
Yeah, it's like we said in the draft, been a bit of a feast or famine, but it feels like you can only excel with an Alchemist, as you can get a lot of net worth real quick. Obviously built in, he's got that seed money, that extra 250, feeling strong for the Alch. I'm gonna try and make it work here with Kuku, but going back to that Terrorblade, it'll be interesting to see the lane, because you talked about tag team, you talked about how they can pressure early on, but he went Metamorphosis level 1, and they'll have to wait about 2 minutes before they can really get back and maybe pressure at a level 3 point for the 2 of them.
It's going to be a lot of spam whenever they get close. He's going to use his Q, try to get some extra damage on top of them, but the way Terrorblade itemizes is he gets 1 Brave Band, 1 Bracer, picks up a magic wand, so becomes relatively tanky early on, just so that he cannot get bursted.
Already see that Lina's 11-3, but the difference this time is Nisha's keeping up. This mid lane, like you said, very important, especially Makoto. We talked about how Natsumi's feast or famine, but Makoto needs to get out of the laning phase ahead. This is a guy that really knows how to take advantage of any lead he gets, and they'll go for Insania in the top lane. They've got the shards to block in the Clockwork.
Good body block.
Blood grenade thrown in, and that will be WS with this Terrorblade without the Metamorphosis getting that kill.
I'm really surprised that we didn't see Tusk being picked up as often as some other position 4s, because again, this hero hasn't been nerfed much. You're still going to be playing in for the tag team compared to the drinking buddies, but it does give you everything. It gives you Roshan, it gives you good lane, gives you snowball save, and the BKB piercing tool. Sometimes we see lineups that don't have anything, so a lot of the times they're going to pull off Nightfall, but not if you're playing against Tusk.
Try and maybe get a kill again in that top lane if they've got that Metamorphosis back
that
up.
Money.
Stealing some money, Boxy putting some damage in on a Kuku. I really want to keep an eye on him and how many camps he's going to try and block. But it's not Boxy with his Bat Rider that's stacking 30 camps.
With Bounty Hunter, that's the problem with the hero. He cannot stack. He's not like Boxy's playing Bat Rider or Shadow Demon to be able to have 20 stacks in 12 minutes.
For Natsumi, they'll throw Trample on him for a little bit, down to about 30% of his health remaining, but Saberlight's got to be a little bit careful. We're just throwing the Nether Blast on and just trying to keep him low on health. Wondering which one of these teams is going to utilize the Twin Gate. Both these teams not afraid of really rotating if need be.
Yeah, I could see Alchemist trying to go through the Twin Gate and grab a kill, push out the wave with the Acid Spray, and then go for the backstab. But there's also going to be a good vision game, because Box is going to be providing that. We did say that he's not going to be stacking as much in the triangle, so going to be more focusing on the lane, putting the pressure. Talon already 1K gold lead, having that Extra goal from
Natsumi.
Natsumi.
He's in
dropping
trouble.
low.
The trample, they'll get the kill. Saberlight will get credit for that one. They'll get themselves on the board, and there's not much Kuku can do. This is really the benefits of having Primal. He's tanky, and he really doesn't care what gets thrown his way in the lane.
Yeah, that's also the problem, because a lot of the times you would see Clockwork, Dark Willow as well being super popular. Anything that can stop him, Crystal Maiden, carry Dragon Knight. Now you have Alchemist, but you're also not putting too much pressure. One of the reasons why El Saberlighto is also staying on top of the network. They are not putting that much of a pressure on him. Boxy's doing a really good job. I mean, speaking of money, they do create some extra money on Alchemist, but then Boxy steals it back.
And that little bit of extra that you get, but Rezo talked about it in the draft. Having this track at a potentially good timing when you're able to get a couple of these kills can help kind of sustain you when this Alchemist is at his peak.
Yeah, for sure.
They look at Insania once again. They've got the shards. They'll go to the Metamorphosis. They'll try to kill the Clockwork. There is a TP in from Boxy. He commits to the TP. Mickey wave forms in. He's starting to shift a little bit. Boxy on the run. He's in Viz under their noses. We'll throw the stun onto Joakim. Nisha's going to come to the top lane. We'll look for the tree to be thrown over onto the Terrorblade, but it doesn't get either of them. This Tusk starting to run. The toss is there. He's down to one shot before he dies, but getting himself a little bit of a distance here between this Morphling, and throws the shards out.
They're not going to get him.
Joakim's going to survive for now. He's got to go all the way back, though. If Boxy gets even the slightest chance, he'll get
level
that
1
kill.
is not enough to grab a kill there, so even if he catches him, it's still not going to be good enough. So they wanted both of them, but didn't get a single kill. Boxy,
He's
thought about it.
Yeah. Do I dive at tier 2? Probably not. Mid looking really good here for Makoto. We have talked about his Lina performances time and time again. Saberlight comes over, so does Kuku to try and secure this rune, and it will be the Invis rune picked up for Saberlight.
We see this more often nowadays, where position 3 is making a move 6 minutes in, just in case, securing that rune, and also maybe potentially grabbing a kill, even though he is not level 6 on himself yet.
One of those heroes that can return a lane pretty quickly too if you need to onslaught back.
Yeah, also a hero that doesn't really need levels to be able to be active on the map, especially if you play from the mid lane. TB finished off his power treads, so WS is pretty tanky. 8 band, bracer, 3 branches, and now power treads.
And what's the build here for the Terrorblade? We've seen a lot of pipe into shard.
I think you have to get pipe in this one. It's just too valuable. You are playing into Primal Beast tiny Clockwork, so you want to mitigate all that magic damage. Boxy, let's see if they rotate one more hero. There has been so much emphasis.
They got
Put down that sentry.
Yeah,
Joakim needs to do it. Problem is he's not level 4, so doesn't have snowball. And block it though.
Is the TB coming over? They know he's there. They'll try to pick up the Wisdom Rune. It's going to be Boxy who gets it, but does he escape? He's not going to make it out. WS gets the kill.
Still very valuable. A lot of emphasis on those runes. As well, we've seen carries also TP to the side, making sure that they're going to be able to get the XP rune for the supports, knowing how important it is. Because if your supports rely on getting level 6 and they're not getting it, then you're in a lot of trouble. El Saberlighto blocking that creep wave just so that they can pull the lane back in the bottom lane.
Bottom lane, they got that kill in a Kuku, and they are trying to get that level 6. They still have their own Wisdom Rune to grab. So they'll have the effects of both Wisdom Runes. They'll try to get to 6 quickly enough. That's your initiation with Hookshot. That's your way back to really culling this difference in net worth and getting yourself track online. It's also great vision tool to stay on top of these heroes, so we'll see how Liquid can go as they pick up that second Wisdom Rune, and we haven't really seen much yet from Makoto.
Now, he's been, like, even when he was playing Lina, he's been playing it relatively slow until he gets his Boots of Travel, then he starts to be much more active. Nisha does have Arcane Rune available. That's the best rune you can pick up on Tiny, because lowering your cooldown, and if you manage to get like 3 tosses in a fight, that's still going to be big. Still, the biggest winner of the laning stage, of course, it's going to be Alchemist, no matter how much you pressure him.
Boxy's here. They'll look for the onslaught. They're going to try and get this kill to the Alchemist. He's level 6, so they go to the Pulverize. They've got Nisha here. They go to the toss, but he'll stun himself. The Nether Blast is not going to be enough, but the snowball's there for a save. It won't matter much, as Natsumi still going to be run down. Boxy gets credit for that. Insania grabs Kuku, and Liquid are all over Talon in the bottom lane. Not much for them to do when everybody's here, and it makes Talon's life very difficult, and they already slowed down this Alchemist.
Team Liquid, they have a really good lineup that says we're gonna run at you, and this was before they even killed the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, so completely creep skip. Boxy again providing vision and putting down this deep observer ward that could scout Alchemist. Quick pause.
Always a quick pause. Could scout the Alchemist. We'll see what they do in terms of keeping the pressure on. It's Radiance, obviously, for the Alk, but I know Makoto's slow to really get started. We've seen a couple of games where he doesn't really get involved in these ganks, but it feels like they kind of need him, and if Liquid can keep this vision up, it's going to be problematic.
Yeah, they didn't get the experience, so the supports are not going to be having as much impact. This is level 4 Tusk and also level 4 Pugna we're talking about, so they will have a bit of a slower entry to the game, so somebody will need to pick it up. Definitely not going to be Terrorblade, considering that this is not a hero that does move. And we talked about his itemization. He is going for that pipe. Makes a lot of sense, though, in this type of a game. Wants to have something that he can fight back, and also is going to give them really good timing with the Alchemist. Even though Natsumi did die, he's still doing very good in terms of the net worth, even with 2 deaths. So still going to be that like 13-14 minute radiance.
Yeah, sitting there second on the net worth, but Makoto is getting there. He's keeping up with the Alchemist. They're on the same side, but you want to use that burst damage, try and get something going. Saberlight not afraid, like you said, to go past that tier 1 tower and go for these ganks. You gotta really sniff it out if you're Talon. All these obs placed across the river to make sure that you can keep your Alk in the lead. Alk starts to fall behind. This Alk draft is not going to feel that great. Kuku gonna sit here over mid because we were talking about the Wisdom Runes not being picked up for them, so he's just level 4. They've already got level 6 here for the Clockwork. Hookshot available. Track available soon as Bo3 is
he knows.
into that level 5.
Getting rid some of that vision is going to be very important, seeing that they can put more pressure onto Alchemist, maybe kill him one more time before he can get that Radiance up. And now Boots of Travel being delivered on Makoto.
Maybe they'll be able to get a fight going in these side lanes, but it all starts with a little bit of initiation, which they don't exactly have at the moment, but
two-man
Cog said for Liquid, they'll go in with a hook shot. Cogs around 2, Nether Blast, Snowball, pulling everybody in. They go to the Laguna Blade. Insania, he's going to be the one who drops first. They go for Nisha. They've got the Nether Blast. Onslaught from Saberlight, trying to get the attention on Makoto. The toss over. Now they've got the Pulverize. It's out of Alina. They get the kill on Anisha. They'll take out the Tiny. They'll look over at Bo3, but despite the good initiation from Liquid, it's Talon who succeed.
Does feel like Liquid needed that extra bit of a damage once they were trapped inside of the Cogs. Tiny's combo is still not maxed out. He has 2 points in Avalanche, 4 points in Toss, and now they're going to start to put more pressure onto Mickey.
Yeah,
Mickey's going to die. That tag team is doing the work.
Natsumi, the one who gets credit for that kill. I mean, they slapped that Morphling. Natsumi moving, and we weren't too sure if they were going to move out of the lane. They talked about Terrorblade maybe not moving, but he comes over and you get those kills.
They need extra bit of a help. Anything they can get, as we said, those supports, they're still not level 6 on Talon. Once you get those level 6 up, especially on Pugna, the turnaround potential is going to be really good. And I also don't see anybody on Liquid trying to go for any kind of like Spirit Vessel. These are also not the heroes that build into early divas. WS.
Wave 4 WS. He's got Sunder, but he gets it off. Now goes for Insania. They've got the Cogs, but nobody's here to help. Avalanche toss and WS tracked up. That'll be a track kill for Bo3 using that Shuriken. Got the Sunder off. Got a little bit of extra time, but nobody in the vicinity for Talon. Just opening up more space for Natsumi. And he is still sitting just second on the net worth, not really pulling ahead of any of these heroes just yet, but he is working on that Radiance.
Natsumi's pretty happy if any of his core dies. He would prefer if it's a support, of course, but this also relieves some pressure on him. So gonna have that, as we said, like 12-13 minute Radiance, still gonna be online even with those 2 deaths.
So they try to use this deep obs to maybe grant them something, but they smoke up, they go into the jungle. Will they find anything? If anything, it'll be Kuku, and they spot him. They've got track, and more gold going the way of Liquid as Saberlight finishes him off, trampling on his dead corpse. But the hook shot comes out from Insania. They found Makoto. It's this vision here that's really helping them get a little bit of activation going, and they go to the track. It's on to Jokam, but nothing more from Liquid just yet.
Did not have enough mana to cast the Cogs. Didn't do the math, but yeah, still gonna be some damage to the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. The good thing for Liquid is El Saberlighto is having a really good game. And he's also not, like, we've seen him play it, I believe, 2 times, did go for SNY. This time around, he understands the importance of him running in, being that front line. So going for a BKB straight away. There is only one BKB piercing tool on their side, and that's Tusk's punch, but seems like that's not going to be enough. There's not going to be enough damage to just like bring him down. So really like the itemization from Saberlight.
So now Natsumi going to the Blink Dagger. He also wants to try and initiate once he gets that with the Radiance. We'll see if it ends up being enough. So far, every fight seems to have been started here by Liquid. They're the ones who are initiating everything up to this point. All come from Insania with that hook shot, who's going into the Solar Crest to start. Position Clockwork. Insania making everything work.
There's going to be a really sick timing. That's why Team Liquid are playing very aggressive, and they're going to smoke once again. We're talking about this pipe on WS and Natsumi picking up his Blink Dagger, BKB, SNY. So
Toss
this is a great kill if they can get it.
Yeah, they've got the Pulverize to follow it up. They didn't need the hook shot to start. Kuku's going to try and get a save here, but now charging up the stun. The onslaught's there. BKB's going to be popped. They've got the cogs around too. Kuku and Natsumi are both dead. Everybody here for the side of Liquid. Hook shot into an ally, so they won't get a +1 on that.
El Saberlito finding the right angle with the onslaught, stunning both of them, not allowing them to pick up that extra bit of a heal from Pugna, and again, they're gonna steal enemy XP rune.
This is not good for your supports of Talon, and don't really need a blink initiator if you just toss them in to initiate with the Primal getting tossed on top of the Alk and then going into the Pulverize. Not really much you can do in that situation when a dinosaur falls on your head.
And the next fight is going to be much easier for Liquid. Tiny just picked up his Blink Dagger, so now you have Clockwork, Primal Beast, and Tiny who can start a fight for you while having that vision from Boxy's Bounty Hunter.
Still not feeling much from Makoto just yet. But
definitely needs that Aghanim Scepter. Feels like the burst damage is lacking on their side.
Shard Snowball pulled all the way to the river. Be fine, they'll deny the tower. At least they'll stop the Tiny from taking that. Natsumi back to farming the triangle, but they've got this obs here. After they won that fight, they placed it in the lane. They see where this Alchemist is going, and they can continue to just put the pressure on him, knowing every move he's made. Think about playing aggressively, and when you can see him, you know every move they make. They see every breath he takes. They're watching him, and they'll look over at Insania. Do you have enough to stop him? You've got WS here. Boxy's off in the vicinity. They don't chase for this Clockwork. It's a position 5 that feels tanky enough to just walk away.
It's hard for them to commit. They really don't have the stunts. No Blink Dagger on Alchemist right now, so it needs to be a lot of Jokam where he needs to be in a good position.
They have that Watcher. They don't move up. Natsumi was near the area, but this is exactly what Liquid need to do. They need to shut down the map from this Alchemist. He's still sitting top of the net worth, but maybe not where he wants to be. He'll have a little bit more of a lead, a little bit more gold in his pocket to have that blink, to have that initiation. And this early on, when you see a deficit for an Alchemist lineup, you start to question if it's even going to be able to win come the next 2 items from an Alch.
With this move from Liquid, they didn't really kill Alchemist, but they also forced him to run from the triangle down to the bottom lane, where Mikoto's also farming, so both of them can get the farm. Map is getting smaller. Nisha is in, so is Insania.
Avalanche and the hook shot. They've got the toss. They'll go to the Laguna Blade. It's not going to be enough to kill Insania. Kuku actually surviving. The pop, the fight. Got the Walrus Punch. They get the kill on a Saberlight. They will get themselves a second on a Boxy, and the chase is on to get some more, but Insania already up the steps and away from the side of Talon.
This is the big timing that I did mention on Talon, where they pick up the pipe, they group up around Alchemist, and now you're going to see this tier 1 tower finally falling. Talon, all they have to do is not get picked up. They need to bring numbers to the table. Alchemist, Blink Dagger is about to be finished on him, so we'll have that second form of initiation with the Tusk. Aghanim Scepter, yeah, that's the big one.
So a double big item here for Talon, and they win a fight there. They take out the 6-time spree from Saberlight, get a good amount of gold in their pocket. The counterplay from them has been good. Obviously, they lose Natsumi in the triangle, maybe a little bit more tough to stop that from happening. But for the most part, they've played around these fights really well.
Yeah, they have a lot of sustain.
They're going to try and go again. They've got the blink into the toss. The avalanche there into Kuku. They've got an extra stun. The stun on a 2 coming out from Natsumi. WS is going to be here. The onslaught up the mark. Nisha low. So is Boxy. And they will clean up both. Again, the counterplay
about this one. He almost lived there. If that stun connected slightly faster, 1 millisecond, he would be able to get the drain. They already used everything. This is also the fight where, like, Mickey didn't really join. Mickey is still farming, and Morphling is level 13. We've seen some of the slower entries from Mickey into the games when he was playing Phantom Assassin, when they were playing against the Falcons, and they were farming it up so much. Then suddenly he hits his timings, joins the fights, goes for some of the solo kills.
Saberlight on the run a little bit. Now hitting this timing too with the Terrorblade, who's going to be able to farm with the Shard. He's got the Demon Zeal. This is where you really start to ramp up if you're a Terrorblade in the off lane. They've given him enough time, and he's surpassed Nisha. And it's just going to get worse. The Terrorblade does a really good job post-Shard of farming. Sumi's still in this triangle, continuing to farm. And Kuku with WS, they've been a combo throughout a good chunk of this game. Haven't seen too much from Jokem in terms of initiating, but he's there to get the saves when need be. And again, they are smoked up on the side of Liquid looking for an opening, and that's going to be towards mid. But at the same time, there's a smoke from Talon as they'll head up towards top.
Yeah, you did mention Jokem. He didn't die a single time in this game. This is the guy that has highest average number of deaths per game in the tournament. 1, 0, and 8 right now. Has a Blink Dagger.
Finds Insania, and they're going to be there to get themselves the Walrus Punch, the control. The shards are perfect. Another stun, and they'll drain him of all his life. Makoto getting that kill and putting himself on a spree. So it was a 3,000 net worth lead for Liquid, but that quickly topples over and goes the way of Talon. They've done a good job rebounding, because this didn't look good for a couple of minutes for Talon.
It did, but this is the timing. Talon, once they get another round of items, they're going to be super tanky. Natsumi cooking, trying to find something.
Overcooked just a bit. Doesn't find anybody there. Nisha here with Boxy just throwing those tracks out and trying to find an initiation with the Blink Avalanche toss. They've got the Lincolns now on Morphling.
Damage from Team Liquid is relatively slow. It needs build-up. Couple of Shurikens, Battery Assault is slow. Same goes for the Primal Beast. Other than Tiny, there isn't that much of a burst damage instantly, and if they get the pipe, if they get one save, I feel like Talon is just going to be winning those fights.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times already where they kind of run out of gas on Liquid. They have that initial pulverize, they have that initial control, but like you said, it doesn't sustain that well. Talon, they're just farming up. They're staying on their side of the map. They're not taking anything too crazy across the river just yet. They're happy to let Natsumi continue to farm, and he is starting to break away in terms of net worth. Boxy looking for anything he can in terms of information, but it's all about Liquid and whether or not they can execute with that info. They've got the scan. It's on a Mickey.
Mickey has Lincoln Sphere, so very good pickup. Kuku can be the one proccing that Lincoln's.
Right.
So that Lina can get the burst damage.
For right now, he's fine. They go in deep. They throw down a ward in that triangle. Sumi continuing to farm here. All he's going to see is an illusion of the Morphling. Get that continual farm going and then TP back towards top. So he's moving around the map quite a bit. They want
Leave them alone, Boxy.
Let them get a wisdom
the third
rune.
time. There is no way that they steal this rune.
I don't know.
They're going to be ready.
They go to the dust. It's going to hit on the Boxy. They've got the stun. He tries to get it, and Natsumi will finally get a wisdom rune here for the side of Talon.
Enough is enough.
Ended. It only took 21 minutes for them to get their own wisdom rune. They're still chasing Saberlight.
They have the punch, so he can't BKB TP out.
And he'll try to onslaught for some distance. He needs to get all the way out, but Jokem's got this Blink Dagger to stick with him. He's not going to blink close enough, and he found a spot in the Roche Pit to get away. Good job there by Saberlight, making sure that he's not a +1. They finally get a wisdom rune here for Talon. And Liquid still just farming up. They want Nisha to have this Conda, and they might even potentially wait for the Conda BKB. A long time to wait for Liquid to really feel comfortable because they've started all the fights. They haven't won them all. So they may not have the confidence to continue to jump in the way they have.
It does feel like they need another round of items. You did mention this double Conda on Morphling and Tiny, so the burst damage that they're going to get from those two items. First Laguna Blade with the Aghanim
Avalanche. Lost though. I don't know. Zevai pushing on the cogs. They'll land the stun. It's on a Boxy. And with a Dragon Slave, Makoto will get the kill. They got the Walrus Punch out on Anisha. Mickey comes over, but you need to get the Tiny out. Makoto, if they go in, he might not be afraid of just letting it rip, but instead, the Dragon Slave comes out. They'll go to the sun. It's Run the Alchemist. It's on to Saberlight. They've got to follow up LSA. He just BKB TP'd out top, and that's another kill for the side of Talon. Natsumi coming in and helping out.
They want to chase. Seems like they are providing vision with this illusion from Tusk, but they say enough. They don't want to overextend. You can still feel that Team Liquid, they're lacking that burst damage. They go in and it takes them a while until they can kill this position for Tusk.
Microphone. Yours working?
Mic check. 1 2 1 2 3.
All right, we're good. Start the game up. 2-1, getting it going. Game number 1, Talon against Liquid. Natsumi, despite the slower start for an Alchemist, looking good, and the win probability does not agree. Favoring Liquid a little bit. Expecting maybe this
Gaben is a big fan of Tiny, double Kanda as well. That burst damage. Morphling, one of the better carries in the meta right now when it comes down to the super late game. Mickey dropping low, has Vampire Fangs, will heal up to fully.
Flare comes out. It's going to spot this happening for the side of Talon. They'll go to get the Roche. Liquid are starting to come that direction. They'll even TP in Saberlight. Looks like they want to contest this, but how quick are they going to make it here?
It's not the fastest Roche.
Rocket Flare again, spotting and giving them information. Have to start with a good Blink Avalanche toss, but they start to evacuate the pit. A little bit slower from WS thanks to Roche bashing him up. But these heroes start to come over from the side of Liquid, and if they can get good positioning here for Talon, they can really make it hurt. They go in, they've got the toss, the onslaught's going to be a whiff, but they get the kill on Kuku, they'll take it the Pugna to start. They look over at Natsumi, the right clicks are on Anisha. They go to the Pulverize, but the Walrus Punch stops it immediately. They've got the Snowball, the focus is onto the Tiny. They'll use the Laguna Blade to get the kill. Cogs, it's around 3 heroes on the side of Talon, and this will be Makoto in trouble as he tries to run away from Mickey. Adaptive Strike, he's got the track, the Onslaught's going to try and follow, but the sun comes out from Natsumi. The chase is onto the Primal Beast. They've got the Walrus Punch once again. The Dragon Slave is there, and Saberlight's dead. 3 heroes gone. Mickey just TP's out.
And that's going to be a Roche for Talon. They are way too tanky right now. We talked about the importance of having that burst damage. You see Makoto immediately almost deleting the hero with that Aghanim Scepter and the slow build-up from Liquid. Mickey tries to go for Makoto, doesn't really chase him there because of the flying thing from Lina. It's just very difficult hero to catch, and they're going to give Aegis to Natsumi. We've seen a lot of the times if Roshan is killed early on that maybe some other roles are getting priority, but yeah, I think in the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's been a very solid game for Natsumi, and you can see his net worth skyrocketing, going into a BKB after finishing off that SNY.
Now that fight where bottom Mickey has Makoto 1v1, but they had Cogs around 3 heroes. I feel like if Mickey focuses his attention on the heroes that are kind of...
They were not on the same page.
Yeah, they were split, and it cost them a little bit too much while trying to get that kill, and eventually doesn't make it because it felt like the rest of Liquid had to try and compensate, but they can't compensate for this. They're going to lose Nisha. WS dominating with this Terrorblade. Now Talon are the aggressors. They're finally feeling confident enough to be the ones starting fights.
Liquid is in a lot of trouble right now. They are going to be putting so much pressure. Your Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, Tier 2 tower, it is going to die. Good thing for them is that they killed Tormentor, so that cannot be stolen. But they could also try to go and maybe poke the high ground a little bit, see what happens.
If they can stay
no meta
here,
for 40 though.
If they can stay here for 2 minutes though, they can finally maybe steal a Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, and look at what Boxy's doing immediately. This is something that he has been doing in that game where he was playing Slark. Problem is he can't kill the creep wave as Bounty Hunter as fast, and Yokam plus Makoto gonna punish him immediately.
Yeah.
Mid Tier 2 tower next on the menu for Talon.
They're just gonna go one to the other to the other. They might even just go towards top afterwards. Maybe send somebody back, push the creep wave, go for that tower, get themselves all out of towers. But again, somebody tries to cut the creep wave and somebody finds himself in a whole bunch of trouble. Onslaught away, that gets into the river. Saberlight here with Insania, and there's some speed from the Lina, but not enough to keep up. This is really troublesome for the side of Liquid, like you said, and they're not even willing to fight WS by himself. This BKB on the Alchemist, this gives them more time to really execute their fights for Talon. Liquid, they're the ones sitting back now in the edges of the map.
Double Kanda is ready, so they can definitely burst a hero. You want to kill those 2 supports immediately because I think the cores are way too difficult to kill.
Snowball to avoid the onslaught, but Insania hookshot comes in. Mickey is here, and they'll trample down this Tusk. So playing deep, just trying to play some vision, and they were able to get the control and an easy kill. Not a full fight. I'm gonna guess microphone.
They didn't say anything. There we are. Wow. Nostradamus right here, huh?
I try my hardest. Try to guess. I felt a trend happening. 2 pauses, 2 microphones. 3rd pause, 3rd microphone. But still 2 minutes with this. Aegis, Lacoste. the advantage is there right now for Talon. But what do Liquid need to do to finally turn this around?
I mean, in terms of scaling, Alchemist, he can give away Aghanim Scepters. He can, like, Lina can sell hers if necessary. Terrorblade's gonna scale. Tusk Aghanim Scepter is also great, but the Team Liquid's lineup also scales really well. Primal Beast damage, the more items that you get, it means you're dealing more. This is like never-ending type of a scaling from Primal Beast. You also have Morphling, you have Tiny, so I think they're gonna be relatively evenly matched if we're talking about like super late game, 50, 60 minutes into the game. Mikoto.
Avalanche, BKB, Mikoto trying to maybe turn it. Thinks wisely about doing so and just TP's out for a Boxy. Saberlight spotted though by Natsumi on the other side of the map. Nothing doing there, and they won't stop him from TPing out without the BKB usage. A little bit split from Talon, but of course they do have the boots to travel on the Lina to join in when necessary. But now working without that BKB, only a minute and a half remaining on that Aegis for this out. 65 seconds without this BKB for Lina.
Map is pretty dark for Talon. There is one observer ward near the enemy triangle in the outer ring, but that's about it. So right now they don't see anything.
Boxy spotted, caught, and silenced up. This should be an easy cleanup for Talon. Just the way they did it to Jokam a moment ago, he'll do to Boxy. A little bit of revenge there while Natsumi and Kuku push the top tier 2. The Nether Blast and the right clicks coming out from Alchemist with nobody coming over is enough to secure it.
A good job, Kuku. Definitely was not intentional.
Always got to get those last hits as a support.
Yeah, with the teammates like this, you don't need enemies.
Want to guess this one?
Mikoto this time around, it's keyboard, I think.
You're going to go keyboard. I'm going to still say microphone.
I think Mikoto was the one who had some keyboard issues.
He did. I don't really know what the keyboard issue could be, other than maybe using a wireless keyboard and it disconnects. Sticking with the serpent theme, Fari, go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Why'd you look at Slytherin?
Yeah.
Back to the game we go.
Learn how to type like a snake? Disappointing. Blink looking for the stun. Anisha will outpace and outrun Natsumi. He'll stun himself. The rest of Talon, they're on their way maybe to keep up if...
I want to see Snaking typing like this in the next match. Yeah.
You'll have to wait for tomorrow, but I think the trend is there. The whole playoffs.
Quit creep skipping. They did not want to fight into this Aegis. It is gonna expire just about now. But everybody's getting super tanky on Talon. Like this Alchemist, 3000 HP with status resistance. 1000 on Terrorblade, plus he also has Defiant Shell, has Pipes, so very difficult to burst, has insane amount of armor. And I'm seeing something very interesting on Natsumi. He wants to itemize, he wants to have some kind of magic damage as well, something that's Morphling gonna be afraid of, considering that all of these heroes have pretty high armor, so wants to have a bit of a mixed damage.
Boxy just deep inside the Talon jungle and watching as Mikoto takes another camp.
Do it. There we go.
Track and then just
Did not want to risk it. Did not want to go for that hit.
The way his positioning, then he's just dead, and then it's a waste. But he gets the track, and I don't really think it matters all too much. Not really feeling much presence out of the side of Team Liquid just yet. Kind of waiting for these next items. Shiva's Guard for Saberlight, but now they're going to smoke up. Maybe they can make a play happen. Side of Talon are on their side of the map over by where their offlane towers once stood, but instead they're focusing over mid and walking in while the side of Talon TP over. Can they find anybody? So far, no, but Tusk shows himself. Blink over, blink back. Quick fingers there from this Tusk. Liquid not choosing to go in. They didn't want to continue the route.
He sniffed them out. He knew exactly where they were coming from, ready. Maybe even a bit of a show-off, I would say.
Photo going into the Lincolns as well. Got that bots, Aetherlands, BKB Ags. Natsumi farming up a storm right now and looking for a full Mjolnir. Got that SNY. You've been loving that item.
Best item in meta right now. Gives you everything. That's why we're seeing it on pretty much every single hero.
Usually before the BKB, right? A fine Boxy get a quick kill. Laguna Blade showing what you could do with this Lina. Easy burst damage, easy kill.
All 3 games that he did play on Lina, he did go beyond godlike. In 1 game, he did go beyond godlike twice.
Yeah.
Getting there.
I don't think he's really going to be stopped at this moment in time. Especially with how timid Liquid have been playing for the moment, and but Makoto feeling very confident. And again, it started from the laning phase. He was about 1,500, 2,000 gold ahead of Nisha coming out of the lanes. So he was really happy with what he got out of this Lina, and they didn't really come to gank him.
Oh, I was expecting slightly more pressure onto that Lina in the mid lane, because you could definitely grab a kill, but you can't be anywhere on the map.
Right. And it wasn't until he got those boots of travel that he started getting the ball rolling, but he got that, got the Ags, and nothing stopped him since. Liquid again here towards bottom, and maybe they catch a glimpse of somebody coming over. It is Joachim again here with Makoto and the rest of the team. Who's going to show their pretty head? The LSA gives the information that Lina's in the vicinity. They put the gem on a WS and Kuku's in the backlines, but they don't engage yet. With a minute remaining on Roche. Death timer. They'll find themselves the snowball. They've got the control on Tabaxi. Laguna Blade is there. Natsumi gets the kill with the Radiance. Silence onto the clockwork. The chase is on to get the kill into Insania. But on the other side of the fight, they'll go to the onslaught. But no, they won't be able to get that all the way through and go to the pulverized area. They got the kill to Joachim as well as Kuku. Both supports taken to the side of town. The pop, the Lincoln's on Makoto with the BKB pop by Saberlight and Mickey. The chase is on to get the kill into Natsumi, but he's starting to run with the BKB of his own. Alchemist, not a lot of mana remaining, but WS is right behind him to try and help out. They've got the courier coming over. Give something over to Natsumi to maybe make him a little bit tougher in the fight. Ready. But they've got the Laguna Blade ready to go. They'll go for Saberlight. They've got the hook shot coming in from Insania. The console around. No BKB. Natsumi's dead. He's gone. Alchemist now out of the fight. A lot of their damage gone here too with Makoto on the edge. He's fallen. Then it's going to be a full team wipe if they can just get WS, and they will.
What a team fight from Liquid. Even though they were fighting into vision, there was a sentry and observer ward on the high ground, they still get the jump, and that's exactly what they need to do. They have Morphling and Tiny paired up together, immediately deleting 2 supports, because they have so much saved. You have these, like, 4 staffs, you have also Glimmer Cape, Snowball, Pagana is also very annoying, so Team Liquid, they find 2 best targets they could find, kill them off immediately, and then take a fight, because Nisha didn't have to pop his BKB immediately, and we're gonna see that again.
Fight does get a little split here when they start to go for Insania, and you can see Natsumi and WS focus their attention there, but on the other side, Liquid's ready to go to take out both supports. They also had buyback available on Insania, and that's going to be very important at the back end of this fight when it goes a little bit more south. And then they
also was forced to run away during the BKB timing, because Mickey popped his, and you're not going to be taking that fight. I also don't know if he did have Metamorphosis ready, but at this point, the fight is pretty much over. As we said, those BKBs, they've been still holding them. Nisha for a very long time, and Insania with the buyback catches him inside. And look at this damage from Mickey. Mickey is definitely online now.
It's a bit of a problem now for Talon. They were up 12,000 net worth. They get team wiped. That goes down to about 5,000, and now they've got an Aegis in the hands of Liquid. It's an even game.
They lost one, 12, 13,000 net worth lead in the last minute and a half. So be careful.
That was pretty close. Has that shard, has that berserk potion. US, he's farming up a Bloodthorn, also wants a Scotty, but we'll see what he finishes off first. What he'll look to get, and Insania picking up that Wisdom Rune. We take a look at the levels, and you can see the supports on the side of Liquid ahead of the supports of Talon by a couple. Top, though, is Mickey, level 23, and they'll pick up the shard from their Tormentor. That goes onto the Bounty Hunter, who now has that friendly Shadow. Now you can get Shadow Walk and keep some of these guys out of vision, especially because you team wiped them
and you took away their gem. Yeah, that's the big one.
It'll be Scotty soon for the Morphling, but now that Liquid have this lead, what's the game plan for Talon? Wait out the Aegis?
Yeah, I definitely think that they need to wait it out. They definitely feel timid fighting into Liquid right now, because they got some really big items. You have Shiva's Guard, Mickey's about to finish off his Silver Edge, and Tiny about to finish off AC.
So I believe we do also have a community drop. Let's see who it is. 2 Cranes. Almost as good as 2 Crows, but they win the Blood Feather Finery. Can fancy as Queen of Pain.
Congrats to him.
Wish I won. I was in chat before. I tried
You're
to be...
always jealous when somebody gets something for free. You're like, man, I wish that was me. You can't get it every single time. I'll buy you something. Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you. Give me something special.
For a special young man, I'll get something special. Yeah.
Please. Make a farm in the triangle here of Talon, and this lead now under 1,000. Everything even. Still 2.5 minutes with this Aegis. I don't know. Talon after that fight. They're still willing to put Natsumi on the other side of the map, but let's see if they're willing to be the initiators. They get a pipe now on the Bounty Hunter. He's the one taking over the utility offlaner item build, as it allows Saberlight to go for other items and find himself happy with Blink, Shiva, Sanjin Yasha instead of, say, pipe for himself. He's happy with what he's gotten so far.
I would want to see a bigger item. Oh,
fine WS hookshot.
Done.
That's there with the onslaught. BKB, but the pulverize through it. They'll get the kill. Natsumi goes in. The LSA's going to land on the 2. They've got the Laguna Blade. They should be able to get the kill on the Saberlight, but he's alive thanks to the pipe. That pipe just picked up on Bounty Hunter. It keeps everybody alive on Liquid. They were on the edge. They were able to control WS. That pulverized post BKB made it easy. But just that pipe, 2
Still gotta
seconds
respect
ago,
burst damage from
all
Talon.
worth it. Yep.
Lina,
E-Blade.
yeah, now E-Blade is finished as well. I would want to see some bigger item on Jokam. He has Glimmer Cape queued up. I think either he gets a BKB or he gets Aghanim Scepter, but if you're building into a BKB, that also means that your Alchemist will need to find some gold and give you Ags, because this is the game-winning Ags, not just in terms of defending the high ground, but also when they go in with their BKBs, you kick them out. So want to see some more sustainability for him. I think Glimmer is fine, but you also have Pagna that does have Glimmer Cape and the Force Staff, so they need to protect each other.
Saberlight will be okay. Jokam more the one who I'm worried about, but he's not going to have that Ags, but maybe he gets it from the out. If they're given enough time, they've got an amplified damage ready to be popped on Nisha. And they'll look at the high ground. There's the blink in. They go to the toss. They've got the avalanche. They'll look at Makoto, and they'll clean up this Lina. 90 seconds, no buyback. Oh, dear.
This is what Lina is always going to be afraid of. These instant initiations, toss back as well, anything that can reposition her. And they should be able to take at least 2 sides, 70 seconds. They still have the Aegis. Without Lina, they don't really have that burst damage. So Mike should feel pretty fine. He's still gonna respect it. They don't know if Lina has buyback.
Got damage dealers for the towers. They'll use that glyph. This is an issue, though, for Talon. They're going to lose not just the top set, but maybe the mid set. They'll find Kuku, but he's able to force that away. They go to the onslaught. They're right on top of him, but Natsumi trying to go in and throw the stun with the BKB being popped by Saberlight. He's fine for the moment. Walrus punch is there. The BKB runs out, but the center axe over mid is gone.
40 seconds without Lina still. They are going to go
so much time
and try to make something up in the bottom lane as well. Nisha, full HP. Damage definitely going to be there. One shot's the creep wave.
This is a problem. They'll go in, they'll use the Walrus Punch, they'll try to get the kill. Nisha on the edge.
Shadow.
He'll finally die, but they're going to go in with the overwhelming blink from Saberlight and kill off Natsumi. He's got buyback, but Jokam falls behind him. 4 heroes dead, they'll buyback on 2. This is WS dead, but has buyback as well. So maybe they can hold one more time. They'll go in with a hook shot. It's on the 2. The snowball save is there, but is it going to be enough to get the kill to Insignia? They're going to overwhelming blink in.
The rampage.
Trouble. There's the kill. Onto the Terrorblade. Ultra kill for Nikke. Looking for the rampage, but there's the E-Blade with the Laguna. He's trying to run. The stun is charged. Natsumi finally gets him for the force step from Foxy. Gets him a little bit of space. The waveform back to the left. They'll find their attention onto the Bounty Hunter. They'll get the kill there. Kuku looking for something, but now Liquid, with 3 heroes dead, will finally pull the ejection cord and leave.
Massive fight for Liquid. They did force 3 buybacks. Most importantly, getting the buyback from Natsumi, getting buyback from WS. So for the next fight, there's not going to be available. And with those 3 buybacks, actually, there is no objective to be taken. They can't really push out until like enemies tier 3 towers, and they can't take Roche. That's the most important thing. So Team Liquid heavily investing, and getting that kill on Lina kind of opens up the map to kill 2 sides of barracks and kill another tier 3 tower.
And 90 seconds, they did not have that Lina, and trying to go Kaya Yasha, but you're going to want to have buyback, but I feel like now maybe you don't even hold it because you're without 3 heroes having buyback anyway.
He might invest the gold and be like, screw it, we need the damage as much as we can in a fight.
Back, they're outpost. 30 seconds till everybody is alive on Liquid. And we have everybody on Talon there too, but this is a tough spot to be in for Talon. They need to hold, and it's not easy. 2 set of racks gone, and the areas to farm not really vast for them. You need to be very careful about where they position themselves, and yeah, Lena buying out on the Kaya. So it doesn't look like Makoto's going to be holding the buyback, at least for now.
They have to risk it. They have one more fight. That's about it. If they lose the fight, game is over. And also, Saberlight has the most fun item build that you can always have in Dota. Overwhelming Blink plus Shiva's Guard. You blink in, they are not moving. You're canceling the Blink daggers as well. He has 5,000 HP, and also looking at the neutral item, did found Havoc Hammer, so he can pull them in, push them back as well. Shiva's Guard, Overwhelming Blink.
Maybe Trickster's
It doesn't get better than this.
Helps the TB, but it's certainly not as fun as Saberlight's build. Roche, 2 minutes 40 seconds, the long Roche timer.
And I really like that because Mickey skipped his Vlads, but they are buying Vlad still. You have Tiny and
might not matter. Blink
John, they'll pop the Lincolns, they'll go to the Snowball. Do they have the control to get the kill? They go to the Laguna Blade, but that's going to be a jumping coming out with Saberlight. BKBs, that's going to be popped by the Alchemist, but the Bullbride's there to follow it up. They go to the Snowball from Mickey, who turned into the toss. They'll get that kill to Jokum as well as Kuku. Wait for him, toss on Natsumi. He's dead. 3 heroes gone. Triple kill here for Mickey, looking for more. The only one who has buyback right now is Kuku. They find Makoto, and the Flame Cloak won't keep him in the air for long enough. They call GG. Team Liquid take game number 1.
Oh man, Team Liquid, they needed to farm. They just felt that they don't have that burst damage that was definitely needed playing into the fight, because Talon, they were staying 15k gold ahead in this game, but unable to capitalize on that. They needed some more good fights to come out.